Hi, this is Alex Hicken with the Very Hicken Bros podcast. We are recording the 47th episode of the podcast. We got some exciting topics. Trevor is going to talk about black holes, and I'm going to talk about self-driving cars again. So it's going to be kind of the same thing as last time, but I'm going to talk about another company that I believe is passing Tesla in self-driving car technology. So I think Tesla's in a third place now. And what do you have going on, Trevor?
I have 400 sandwiches to make tomorrow. It's gonna be a blast.
400 sandwiches.
Yeah, it's not even counting the large nugget trays we have, so.
And it doesn't count the normal order of people coming through.
It's gonna be so much fun.
I hope you survive.
I've been watching it's new, or I don't know, I think it is new to Netflix. A couple months or maybe a month ago. I don't know. I can't keep track of time. My coworker, right after she quit, she said like, "Oh, you should watch Promised Neverland." And like, okay. And then I watched a couple episodes. It's pretty good.
Oh, is that the psychological thriller?
Horror, yeah. It's the anime I've tried watching. What about you? What do you have going on?
Yeah, I got another job interview on Friday. I've kind of been familiar with this company for a few months, so kind of feel more confident with it. It's an interview with an actual subcontractor company that I'm more comfortable with also. I've worked with subcontractors my whole career, so hopefully that goes well and I get a job. I'll be the company builds pools, so I might be able to test them. Trevor and I used to swim on some swim teams.
Yeah, we swam in 2 teams. We started in the Santa Cruz Aquatics, and then we were, I don't know if it's upgrade, side grade. It's after that we went to the Cabrillo Threshers.
Yeah?
Yeah, and then it was pretty crazy that you had to like attend meets and like portion amount of time out to them per month just to be on the club, and yeah, I think that's why we stopped.
Yeah, they were expecting volunteer work from my parents, and they didn't want to deal with that. I think.
Yeah. I haven't been swimming. Have you been swimming since?
Not really. I usually swim on vacation. That's mainly it.
Yeah. Anything else you have going on?
Nope.
I was looking at my news feed and I saw this red Chocobo. That's cool. And yeah, what would you expect a red Chocobo would like do? I feel like the red Chocobos would be like pretty fast. I don't know.
I would imagine it being part of evil society of warlocks.
Huh. Interesting.
They have crazy armor on it. Only a special... you have to join a special clan of warriors to get a red chocobo.
Yeah. Red chocobos are... I mean, they in a lot of different games, the red chocobo, I don't really have much knowledge about it, but apparently the red chocobo is a deadly omen. In Final Fantasy 14, the massive multiplayer online RPG game, he returned from a 2-year disappearance. It's based on the expansion of a Final Fantasy 12 quest. I guess this red chocobo is super hard to like escape because they're like 3 times faster than chocobos and stuff. And yeah, a lot of people have been trying to like, instead of escape, like try to battle him out and like defeat him. But the red chocobo, what they do is they, like, let's say you have your whole party, I don't know, it's at least 10 people. They'll trap you in like this area, and in that area you can't move out of it. So they just keep attacking you with these like crazy AoE spells that like kill you. And these guys are veterans, they're like level 80.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they go around and there's a ton of people just like trying to like destroy it, and they just end up dying in this little circle.
Is that like some weird spell?
Yeah, they trap you in there and you can't move. And yeah, I saw photos of like multiple parties just on the ground dead, and they're like waiting to get resurrected and stuff. It's pretty sad.
Sounds like me.
Yeah.
So you can't really attack it? They just trap you in there and kill you?
You can, but like once you get trapped, they just keep like launching these crazy spells on you and destroy you. Yeah, this isn't the first time red chocobos has been a problem. They popped up in Final Fantasy Tactics, and they just attacked you with like meteor attacks, and yeah, you had to run around just to like chip damage at him. You can't stay still, or you just get trapped and get meteorite attacked.
Is it still going on today?
Yeah, it's a very unpleasant thing to see.
Are they going to let the red chocobo keep on existing until somebody kills it?
Yeah, I don't know. We have to see. There's going to be a new expansion, and maybe they'll exist until then. Who knows? Yeah, it's my Final Fantasy 14 topic, I guess.
Yeah, talking about people trying to align to fight something evil, the military has continued their development with Vue 6. In March, I spoke about their deal with the U.S. Defense Department was working with Vue 6 to make some augmented reality glasses. And they were happy with the products that they provided for them, and they are on the second phase of development, and they commissioned Vue 6 to design new glasses for their deployment. The contract is only in the low $100,000 range, so it's not like millions of dollars over like years. It's just one contract. One thing that's interesting is that it says that they're going to develop a special customized waveguide based head-worn AR display. And I was wondering what that was because the article didn't really explain that much either. When I was looking into it, I found a video from Corning. They seem to be an expert on this technology. So what it is that it's a glass technology, and it enables the images that is displayed through it to be displayed throughout the lens of the glass. And it's a ultra flat glass that has high refractive index through it, so it lets the image come out at throughout the whole lens. That sounds pretty cool. I was really impressed when I saw it. I thought it was really innovative. Does that make sense, Trevor?
I'd probably have to see like a diagram or something, but it sounds impressive.
Yeah. So when I saw the video, it looked like the light would like walk downstairs in the lens, and some of them will come out on the top layer, and then some will come out of the second layer of these like the index, what's it called? The high refractive index. Yeah. So sometimes we imagine a little screen that reflects an image, but this technology allows the image to be carried through the actual lens of the glasses and displayed into our eyes throughout the whole lens of the glasses. I haven't had an augmented reality update in a long time. Yeah, but I'm talking about my classic topics today. I got a AR topic, a hydrogen fuel topic, and self-driving car topic. What do you have next, Trevor?
Hydrogen's not a classic. I would say that's like a newer topic for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going back to an old topic back in the day, like 2008. But HTC is back at it again with the latest Desire 20 Plus. I've been thinking about it. It's a optimistically good buy for anyone who's in the market for a cheap mid-range phone. It reminds me a lot of the latest mid-range competitors coming from Google, OnePlus, and Apple. The focus, I would say, with this phone is photography, because it has a really good set of cameras on it. Surprisingly, the front-facing camera has a 16 megapixel camera.
Wow.
Then the back camera has 4 cameras, a 48 megapixel main, 5 megapixel ultra wide, and then 5 megapixel depth camera. And then the also the one that most people don't even care about, the 2 megapixel macro camera they put on there just to make it look like they care. Yeah, so it's surprisingly cheaper than most other ones. It's $295. But at the moment, it's only available in Taiwan, where they're from. Everything else is decent. It has a 5,000 milliamp hour battery, large storage capacity of 128. It has a pretty good amount of RAM, 6, and it's a 720G mid-range processor, this Snapdragon. It's a interesting choice, I think. Usually you'd go with like a OnePlus Nord or the Pixel 4a. They went with the 765G. But this is it's like in the same family, but instead of having fewer processors, it has more. But they both are clocked at the same speed. But the screen, it only has to push 1600 pixels by 720. So it's a low resolution, but I mean, for that price point, I wouldn't expect any more, and it's not going to have like 90 hertz refresh rate. So, but I mean, it looks good. I like the look of it. There's like a orange and black color scheme for Halloween for some reason, and what was the last part? Oh, they keep a headphone jack. It has NFC, and I think if HTC can make enough money back from this, maybe they can start investing into more interesting and innovating products. Maybe Alex asked me earlier, what would I do if I was HTC to like bring it back? I would say, I don't know. They designed a HTC. The Dream had a slide out mechanism that was really unique, and I thought it was really cool. I was thinking they can make some kind of foldable device in that manner. And Alex is saying they're focusing on competing with the Facebook Oculus Rift devices and the Quest 2. Back in the day, if you don't know the history, HTC was when the debut of Android started alongside the the first iPhones. Android was first the first product I ran on was the HTC Dream, and HTC was actually a pretty popular brand. Like, I knew a few people that had him, and I loved him. Like, I would used to go to like Sprint store or Verizon just to like get my hands on them and test them out. They had really good like build quality, and they had a really good skin at the beginning before the stock Android was the preferred Android choice. And they lost their footing after like the Pixel line started. Ever since that, like I think they helped with the Pixel 3 design, because Google bought HTC's developers and designers. So that's what I was thinking, like maybe after they bought them, like HTC was left like empty-handed and didn't have much to work with, and they had to start from scratch with new designs and developers and designers. Yeah, so I think I heard the HTC Vive was supposed to be a really good VR headset, but the newest Oculus Quest 2 is good price, so they might have to like work to compete with that pricing.
Yeah. Have you ever owned any HTC products, Trevor?
I think HTC. No, I don't think I have. I think the HTC. No, every one of the phones I've had were either LG, OnePlus, or Google. Which the ones I've had were LG, were the ones building it.
Did they make any Nexus phones?
I think they helped with Nexus 6.
Oh yeah, you didn't have that one.
Like a phablet of a phone. It was gigantic.
And did they make any of the Nexus tablets? I think they did.
They made the Nexus. Was it the 8? The one, was that the one you had?
I had the Nexus 9.
I think HTC. Let's see, Nexus 9. I think that was HTC. I vaguely remember seeing the back of it. Yeah, it was. It was awesome.
Yeah, so I got one of them.
Yeah, and that was one of your primary machines for a while when you took notes. And
yeah, I still have it.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, people at school would call me like the tablet guy because I was always taking notes and taking pictures of the screen. And I don't know, maybe they thought I was a weird person.
Yeah.
I was a little on the cutting edge of technology.
Yeah, I didn't even know they announced another phone earlier this year. I just read up on the specs, and it was very lackluster. And this is definitely a better phone to try to sell. The other one had like a 660 chipset, which I'm not sure is very competent in this day and age. They do sponsor a bunch of esport teams. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, they might be able to get up in front of a broad audience if they sponsor a Taiwanese team.
Yeah. Maybe maybe Overwatch should make a Taiwanese team and HTC can sponsor them.
Yeah, they need to practice some like guerrilla tactics or something to become mainstream again.
Yeah, they were once like the face of Android. Now they make blockchain phones that I don't think anyone really cares about. Yeah, that's HTC's future at the moment. Hopefully they can get that phone selling outside of Taiwan. I would love to see like HTC come back. Like if there was any like phone companies or technic companies I would like to see come back, it would be HTC would be one of them.
My next topic will be talking about a country near Taiwan. It's a company in Australia. This company is called Leo Hydrogen. They are developing the Tesla Powerwalls. It's kind of like a big battery that powers your house that's charged by solar powers. I don't really know that much. I don't know why Tesla and Elon Musk loves batteries so much. I'm not that into batteries. You know what I'm talking about, Trevor?
Yeah, batteries, I think, well, they eliminate, if you have a huge battery like Tesla does in a car, it eliminates the need to burn fuel, which is a pollutant. But you said that batteries also, what was I going to say? Didn't you say batteries, they are still like very bad for the environment when you remove them from the car?
Yeah, batteries
like once they're done for, you can't really dispose of them very well. They're very toxic still. It's hard to like safely remove the power, whatever powers it.
Yeah, and also the manufacturing of the batteries is very destructive to the earth to gather the minerals and elements for it.
Yeah, it's not self-sustaining.
Yeah, but Leo Hydrogen is developing a product that is a competitor to the Powerwall. Alternative energies in Australia seems to be like a big thing. Australia has the most residential solar systems installed on homes. So it's a big market for this. But Leo Hydrogen, they have developed a Powerwall product somewhat that uses hydrogen fuel. And it uses the solar panels to perform electrolysis on the water and to use the hydrogen as a fuel for the house. The Powerwall could carry more than 3 times as much energy, and it could carry it for a longer period of time. Its capacity is 40 kilowatt hours, and the Powerwall that Tesla has is 13.5 kilowatt hours. And the 40 kilowatt hours could power an average house for more than 2 days, about that much. So yeah, so I think it's good because if you're out off grid and something happens with your solar panels and you need to replace them with maybe your extra ones and fix it, you have a day or so to fix it. But with Tesla's Powerwall, it only lasts probably a day or so, and you might be without power, and there's more flexibility with this hydrogen fuel alternative.
Mm-hmm.
The pre-orders start in November next month, and they expect to start installing them in July or so next year. I think June or July. They're planning to sell 10,000 of these units by the end of the year next year. The system costs about almost $25,000.
That would pretty much cover cost of, it would provide your electricity. I wonder how,
yeah, I would like this.
Yeah, I wonder how, he says $25,000.
Yeah.
I wonder, how long until the electricity bill would be paid off in $25,000.
Yeah. For myself, I barely use any. My electricity bill is pretty low.
It'd probably be for commercial use more than home use.
Yeah, you got a good point there. It doesn't seem to be a very good investment. But Jessica and I have talked about what happens if we don't have electricity and we want to use a microwave or make bread or something, and there's no electricity. And what are we going to do?
Yeah, I guess there is a point there. It's like a generator of your own. Or you could just have a generator for backup if you were really worried about microwave or baking bread when you have the electricity down.
Yeah. I thought you said you're really worried about toasting your bread.
No.
I really want to toast my bread. The power is out.
Yeah. Talking about unrealistic products for your home, LG has finally been able to start selling the Rollable TV. They've been working on getting this out to the market since 2018. They showed it off at the electronics shows, and it's a 65-inch. They call it a LG Signature OLED R. Right now it's only in South Korea, but it costs 100 million won, or more than $87,000.
100 million won. That's crazy.
LG describes it the most innovative development in TV technology in decades. It's really crazy. When I saw this gift, it was just the TV kind of like a projector screen, but instead of the projector, it's the actual TV just shrinking down into the base of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty insane. But they say the advantages of it is, since it's flexible, uses a flexible OLED panel, it you can have it retract or show partially, and that allows it to display in different aspect ratios, or you can just have it disappear when you're not using it. And I thought it was pretty crazy. I've never heard of a TV that actually did that. Because you know how most movies we watch, Oh, yeah, a lot of movies we watch when we get them on like Blu-ray or something. Or sometimes we stream like older movies. They have it like in widescreen, and you have the black bars. You could just like shrink your TV to eliminate them, and you wouldn't be bothered by it. It'd be nice. Sounds like a expensive workaround to get that, but yeah. You can get it in 4 colors for the wall speaker and aluminum base with an engraving. Yeah, it's crazy.
Would you say it's an OLED
Yeah, it's
display?
a flexible OLED.
Nice.
Yeah, LG has been killing it in innovation lately. LG Wing, the signature OLED R. Yeah. The Wing is more affordable though, so.
Yeah, you can actually get that. Talking about LG, I'll be talking about GM and General Motors. General Motors is the company that I believe is passing Tesla in the self-driving car industry. They have a company that they have majority stake ownership in called Cruise, and they're planning to launch their autonomous taxis in San Francisco without backup drivers by the end of the year.
Yeah, that's competing with Waymo at that point.
Another thing it might be even ahead of Waymo is that they are they're seeking permission to be able to get rid of the steering wheel and the gas pedal and the mirrors and maybe even the windshield.
Windshield? So someone can just like jump in it or something?
Yeah, so it'll be kind of like a living room. You're just chilling in there. They're planning to build a car they call the Origin. They're planning to build them by the end of next year. Release them as self-driving cars.
Yeah.
And the way that they're going to deploy this is interesting because they say that they're going to go neighborhood by neighborhood and have little meetings with each communities and help them understand and gain their trust in the San Francisco people.
Yeah, maybe you can start applying to San Francisco now.
Yeah, I could apply to San Francisco jobs now. Yeah, that's a good point, a good idea, Trevor. The company spokesman is his name is Ray Wirt. He said, "We understand that this is a trust race as much as it is a technology race. This is absolutely about making sure we're doing this with San Francisco." And
yeah, San Francisco, I'd say, is like an ideal candidate to start since there's not much parking and it's probably easier to get around taxi anyways. And in that kind of traffic...
Yeah, San Francisco is known for their hills.
Yeah.
It's kind of scary to drive around, I think.
I don't think it's the hills that's scary. I think it's just like navigating and like how people drive around it. It's a little intimidating the first time you get in, but you get used to it. But I mean, like, if you live there, you probably don't want to own a car just because it's just so hard to, like, once you're parked, you have to find opportune time to get out of there. It's like there's so much traffic all the time and people, and it's just, I mean, maybe not now because the thing in the world, so probably not as many people, but still annoying.
Yeah. For some reason, when I imagine driving around San Francisco, I imagine driving around with a stick shift and trying to park on like a hill and trying to get out and not hit anything in neutral.
Okay.
Trying to drive up a hill from a parking spot.
Yeah, San Francisco, if you go to the city, yeah, there's a lot of hills and stuff, but like around it is fine. Like last time, Nick and Allison and I, we went to see Camelot was the last concert we saw in San Francisco. We just found parking right next to the Palace of Fine Arts. I think we parked like right next to it.
Mm-hmm.
Or pretty close to it, so it wasn't too far away. But yeah, it wasn't hard. It wasn't like difficult to get in. So I would say they probably like want to have these things running around in downtown. I would love to get in one of those instead of having to like flag down a taxi or order a Uber.
Yeah, this is a good opportunity for a cruise because we're talking with my parents and Uber and Lyft is not even operating down there anymore.
Because California is requiring people to pay something in order to, I don't know, some kind of insurance. I don't know. I don't understand, but
yeah, the issue is that the government wants to treat all the Uber and Lyft drivers as if they're employees, and the government wants Uber and Lyft to pay benefits to these contractors as if they're employees. There'll be too much expenses for them to pay insurance and all this stuff to them. And it wouldn't be very fair because they don't really have a choice to. They have less choice on who they employ and who drives for them. It might be some random person that they're not really choosing to drive. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but yeah, it's exciting. Is there taxis? Are they like different sizes, or is it like one size that they're deploying right now?
I don't know what it's called. I was reading another article that said Ford is going to use the Escape. I don't know what the car that GM is using.
Probably I don't know, GM's.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I think they might be testing right now. I'm not sure if they're driving anybody around yet. But
yeah, that's cool. At least it's not like Tesla, where they're requiring people to pay for the beta and then pay for any damages that the beta might have caused if they crash.
Yeah, it says right here there's no date for starting the ride service.
Huh.
And yeah, so they don't seem to be that far ahead. Okay.
Talking about I'm sure about dates and stuff. The Milky Way is also a thing we're very uncertain of. We have recently discovered about it a halo that's revolving around it. Did you know that?
There's a halo revolving around the Milky Way galaxy?
Yeah. The galaxy we reside in. Yeah, so this halo, they call it the galactic medium, or CGM. So there's a lot of gas and material that is being outputted by the Milky Way. At the same time, they are also taking in a lot of material. So it's kind of like a recycling recycling cycle. Yeah, and they found this out because the University of Iowa were pointing some mini satellites, and they noticed some X-rays emitted by the CGM, and it has a disc-like geometry. And yeah, Philip, the professor, says where the Milky Way is forming stars more vigorously, there are more X-ray emissions from the circumgalactic medium that suggests the CGM is related to star formation, and is likely we're seeing gas that has previously fell to the Milky Way helped make stars, and now is being recycled into the CGM. So every galaxy has one of these, but there's some parts that are crucial to understanding, like how a galaxy formed and how it's evolved and how universes are progressing. Yeah, so they've been wanting to get a better handle on what the CGM's configuration is. He said that the recycled material is comprised of like a thin, puffy layer of gas, and is unlikely a host of a missing baryonic material or matter. And that's what they say they've been looking for, is this atomic remnant that's been missing for like 14 billion years. Yeah, so some parts of the CGM are higher density. They showed that because in the higher X-ray emissions, there's a lot more in that area, and some parts are dimmer. So the main purpose of the X-ray observations that leading to this, where they were searching for this missing baryons. They are an essential matter, I guess, for creation.
I'm having a hard time following. You're talking about the halo and the gases recycling and CGM.
Yeah, that's what they call the halo, is CGM. It's a heated halo.
And the halo is gas that emits light?
So it's like an incubator for star formation. So in the halo, that's where many of the galaxies stars started, and from that the kind of a cycles through, like after the stars have been formed, it somehow like recycles and takes it back. And so it's a very, I guess you could say, a very ancient, like a very, it's the origin of a lot of formation and universe creation. So that was why these satellites were originally sent out for, were to find this matter that is said to be around since like the beginning of the universe. So they've been looking for it, and they noticed the whole thing about the CGM being a clumpy halo for the Milky Way.
Hopefully when I listen to this again, I'll understand what you're saying.
Yeah, to sum it up, they launched these mini satellites called the HaloSat. They noticed X-rays from around the center of the galaxy that formed a halo. in these halos, there's clumps. These clumps where they create the higher X-ray emitted areas have greater star formation. The dimmer areas of X-ray were less active. And these gases were like helium and these things used to create all sorts of celestial objects. Yeah.
So where are these satellites sent to?
They're just mini satellites, just outside.
Okay.
Yeah. They were launched in May 2018 from the ISS. It was the first mini satellite funded by the NASA's Astrophysics Division. Yeah, and then if you go more in depth into the Milky Way, we go into the supermassive black hole the galaxy has at the center of it all. Usually, black holes are determined by three properties: mass, spin, and electric charge. The charges should be nearly zero, since matter is captured by black holes. I didn't know this is electrically neutral. The mass determines the size of its event horizon. They can measure that in many ways. And then the brightness of the material around it to the overall motion of nearby stars. And then the spin is the most difficult for them to study. There is a few ways that they rotate. There's a retrograde, where the outside halo is spinning one way and the retrograde spins the other. There's a black hole with no rotation, and then there's a prograde rotation where they both spin in the same direction. So the black hole's spin is usually its rotation, but yeah, black hole spin, like mass, is a space-time property. The spin determines how space is warped around a black hole. So to determine the spin, according to this article, is you need to study how matter behaves near it.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so you can study it by X-rays emitted by the accretion disk, take pictures of it, like we saw earlier this year. We saw the first picture of a black hole. It says our black hole isn't very active, and it's smaller than the closest one. That's the M87. So we can't measure its spinning by observing light near it. So when a mass rotates, it spins space around it slightly. And it says hundreds of stars orbit the black hole at the center of our galaxy, about 40 of them, known as S-stars. And they have orbits close approach to black hole. Over time, these orbits have shifted by frame dragging effect. If we measure these shifts, we can measure the spin. The greater the spin, the greater the orbit shift. Said in this new work, when they studied it, they found no frame dragging shift. So yeah, we still don't know the way that the black hole is spinning. So
Calculate the spin of a black hole by the orbit of a star nearby.
So these stars can be shifted by a frame dragging effect.
That sounds really complicated, man. It's really, really, the relationship is very limited to be able to determine the spin of a black hole.
Yeah, they said that we know it's real because they measured the frame dragging effect of Earth's rotation, but they can't put a probe in orbit around the black hole the same way we did in the Earth. So, so the stars are the closest thing they can do.
So these stars are orbiting the black hole, or they just orbiting other things and just are affected by the black hole?
No, they orbit the black hole. They're very close.
Okay.
They're, as they say, close. What is it? Close orbit. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So they are related. I imagine that it's like some random star just orbiting another thing, and somehow this random black hole affects it.
Yeah.
That sounds some complicated math.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so now we know how black holes spin. They can spin in the middle, different from what the accretion disk thing spinning, the same or have no black hole rotation. But we still haven't observed how our galaxy's supermassive black hole is. So hopefully we get more evidence or studies done on that.
I wonder if it's easier to study other galaxies than it is to study our galaxy's black hole.
Yeah, they're studying the other closest black hole next to us is the M87. He says that the spin of the M87's black hole is at least 0.4. I'm not sure what the measurement is.
0.4 something. I kind of wanted to conclude and say that I think that GM is ahead of Tesla, although they have people in their self-driving cars. Tesla just barely started testing these full self-driving cars. They may have done it through simulation, or maybe they had cars do it a little bit, but they are just barely starting the beta. And Waymo has been doing this beta stuff for years, and they finished their beta recently. So Tesla technically still has people monitoring the car in the car while these full self-driving cars are going out and about. So GM is starting to have these cars drive around without anybody inside them. I thought that GM were gonna start doing the ride-hailing service, but they haven't done that yet. But yeah, I still think GM is ahead of Tesla. They started designing their cars that don't have any windshields and all of that, mirrors and the pedal brakes. I don't know if Waymo's done that, but it seems like GM is...
Are they
up there with the leaders?
Electric?
I'm
just trying to think, like, how would they, like, fuel themselves? They just, like, plug themselves in somehow and get gas.
Yeah, maybe if they're in Oregon, that might make sense. They're like...
Oh, the robot cars come by again. Time to fuel them
like,
up.
Oh, it's a robo car. Yeah. It's like, oh, there's a credit card that opens up the window and there's a credit card in there. It's like, okay, I'll take this and fill it up for you. But yeah, I expect it's electric.
You probably just kind of like a Roomba, just like slowly come back home when they know the batteries are dying.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, this car is dead in front of me again. It's like going 5 miles an hour.
Yeah. Well, thank you for listening. Last podcast was pretty good. Seems like our listenings are back to normal. I thought that the balance in the two podcasts might be be hard on the listening, but I don't think it's affecting it.
Yeah, next week we have Nick joining us. We will have him in his insights in the latest Apple news and iPhone releases. I haven't heard anything from him for music, so I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, we also might do a bonus episode, or this episode would be only on Spotify and Anchor.
Oh, yeah.
And when we'll talk about the Amaranth album, and I'll put the songs inside there so you could know a little bit about them. Some of the songs are a little hardcore, and I don't think a lot of people like that. But I know I've been listening to the album, and there's one that is kind of not as hardcore, so I'll put that in there. I think I'll put at the end.
Yeah. Yeah, Nick's loving it, so he'll have a lot to say about it for sure. Yeah. He listens to it like a pop album, so he just has it on all the time.
Nice.
Yeah, and then if you haven't, you could see up on Nick's photography. Maybe we'll ask him a little more about his review on his latest digital camera.
Yeah, I thought it was crazy because he took a picture, or he showed a picture on an Instagram story where he zoomed up really close to one, but it seems like the picture is like super long. I don't understand how he did that. Maybe just put them all together. I don't know what he did there.
Yeah, it has like hundreds of megabytes files just for one photo, so
yeah, so we'll be catching up with him.
Yeah, and then I don't know, we might have some kind of talk to you later this week, who knows.
Yeah, I like how we have a culture of being informed in here, and we have some silly conversations, stuff, theoretical things that we like to talk about. We have an idea floating around that we are kind of thinking about talking about. We'll maybe have that bonus episode as another podcast. Call it the Talk Related Podcast.
Yeah. All right, then talk to you later.
Yeah, talk to you later.